Happy Monday. What's up? Doing my phase 2 of my workout, my cardio. Already did my strength training this morning. Start the day off right, start the week off right. Let's go. Give you guys a few minutes to hop on if you want to hop on. Come on. What's going on? Stephen B, what's going on, man? So, Yankees swept the Cardinals, which is a good thing, right? Now we have the day off today. Gives us a little bit of momentum going into Tampa Bay. Well, again, into Tampa against Steinbrenner Field against Tampa Bay, right? And we have Cam Schlittler and Carlos Rodon as the two pitchers facing the Rays. So we're well positioned to win these games, but they need to actually do that. And one of the things that they did, I don't know if you noticed, one of the things they did a little bit more of in this series against St. Louis was something that they haven't really done much of throughout a lot of the season, right? Which is small ball, situational hitting, right? They excelled there. Do you notice anything about that? They had guys in there that helped facilitate it. Jose Caballero from the Rays. The Rays are known for fundamental balls, for small ball, for executing the small things all the time. He's a disciple of the Rays, right? The guy is a disruptor on the base paths, and the fact is, he gets on base a hell of a lot. The Yankees, and every time he's on base, he's either stealing or scoring. That is a weapon to take advantage of. This is why I keep saying, we have him here. Let's please figure out a way to get him in the lineup on a regular basis. Even if you said Jazz 1 day a week, Volpe 1 day a week. And the fact is, too, it's August right now, right? We have about 4 or 5 weeks left of the season. And now's the time to sit guys and keep them healthy and fresh and rested for the season, right? The last thing we want is people getting hurt in September or October, even though we have roster expansion. But it's not like we're expanding from 25 to 40 like we're expanding from 26 to 28. So we might get an arm and a bat here, and that's it. So who those guys are going to be, I have no idea yet. Who I'd like for them to be, yeah, sure. I know that. I mean, I would like for them to be Spencer Jones and Jake Bird, but we'll see. But right now, if I'm the Yankees, I'm building on this, right? I'm continuing to use Caballero, especially against Tampa. He's a team he's familiar with, right? And then after that, we come back home. We have Boston for 4, the Nationals for 3, and then we go to the White Sox. Go to Chicago and play the White Sox for 4. So the Yankees are positioned to win a fair amount of games and hopefully win more series than not. And at this point in time, the margin for error for the Yankees is very small. They've got to win games. They've got to win series. There's no two ways about it, right? Now, good morning, everybody in the chat. Smack that thumbs up if you haven't done yet. If you're happy that the Yankees swept the Cardinals, let's go. And again, you know, like we've talked about this too. They sat Stanton for a reason. They sat Bellinger for a reason. We all notice, right? Reporting confirmed it. So, certain content critics who love to lie about this stuff. Certain people on X love to lie about this stuff. Let them lie about it. But they pinch hit, right? Stanton yesterday. Bellinger got in the game as well. So, Stanton drew a walk. But the fact is, too, this is a 35-year-old man on playing with a 90-year-old man's legs. And if you look at his injury history, with the exception of his elbow things that happened this year, the majority of his injuries in his career have been lower body injuries, lower body related. So a lot of the injuries with the Yankees have been lower body related. So I'm not surprised that they sat him after playing in the field for 3 straight games when he hasn't played in the field for, 2 years? So whether he's nursing an injury, a minor injury, or having trouble recovering. And I think the injury thing probably had a little bit less teeth in the argument since he got in the game yesterday. Probably having trouble recovering. That seems to be the more logical hypothesis right here, right? So, and again, I want Stanton in October because that's where he's money. I want Bellinger healthy and ready in October, right? And I want these other guys healthy and ready to go. And again, when we get Ahmed Rosario back in a couple days, I hope they utilize him as well, right? Him and Caballero bringing energy to this Yankees team that isn't displayed very often, right? I'm always seeing Ahmed Rosario, even when he's in the dugout, cheering on his teammates. You always see him at the top of the dugout, right? Ready to support his team, ready to clap. You know, I see him every single time. Jonathan, what's happening, man? And Cabrera, you see it in the field. He's disrupting bases all the time. Stealing bases, constantly moving up, constantly scoring. How can we not deploy that? He had 5, since he's been here, or was it the series against the Cardinals? He had 5 steals. 5 steals. We have Yankees don't get 5 steals all season. They got 5 in a week. Use that. Right? And again, what's some of the things that we have had issues with? Leaving guys on base, right? Situational hitting. Well, if you have a guy like this who steals, that could be the difference. Stealing second and a base that scores you. Or you have first, somebody hits a double, he scores, as opposed to being left on third by some of the other hitters, right? Good morning. These are these little things from a small ball baseball standpoint that matter. They really, really do. And again, I don't see it. I'm still wondering. You got people talking about Brian Cashman's creating a you of us versus you environment. And they're not bringing up any comments of that make it true, right? Yeah, he supported Aaron Boone. But the fact of the matter is, there hasn't been a Yankee manager to absorb the type of heat that Aaron Boone has absorbed in the way that he's absorbed it. I can't remember one. And he's feeling the heat, obviously. But Joe Girardi, he wouldn't have been able to do this. And you know, and I'm glad Joe Girardi and Joe Torre didn't have to deal with this analytics intrusion the way that Boone does. That's all I'll say about that. That's an analytics thing. It's not a Boone thing. So, but the temperament of this team, you know, they're continuing the grind. They're putting their heads down and playing, even through losses. While so many of the fans and so many other people are just tantruming every single day. Every single day. Right? Even on days where they win. And I'm not talking about the entire fan base. We know this. There's a certain segment of them who are, it's almost as like, morning, man. It's almost as if they're not happy unless they're miserable or unless they're angry. And yeah, we know this anger and rage and all this other stuff generates views and clicks and attention and blah, blah, blah. Facts aren't sexy and whatever. I don't really care about any of that stuff. I'm just not going to take part in dumbing down the fan base with lies and propaganda and talking points and narratives and blah, blah, blah. So, you give me your thoughts. I mean, what did you notice of this series, Yankees? I saw more fundamental baseball, more small ball, more aggressiveness on the base paths, right? And more capitalizing, the offense capitalizing. You know, the offense scored, Cardinals fought back, and the offense struck again. Whether it be immediately or whether it be a couple innings later. The offense kept striking. And that's something that we need the offense to do, right? And now we have guys that can facilitate this type of stuff, like Caballero, like Rosario, some of the new acquisitions. It's making it easier for folks like Paul Goldschmidt, these other folks to drive in guys. Jason Dominguez is hitting a lot of singles now. He's got a couple of multi-hit games too, which helps balance his, well, helps offset his not so great feeling. But he's still a rookie, so he's a developing player. Now, that I like to I think it's important to factor in. So, but what are you thinking? Maz is in the house. What's up, brother? And again, and then there's this talk too. What was the talk of the day yesterday? Oh my God, Ketel Marte is on the market now. We should trade. Got people wanting to trade George Lombard for Ketel Marte. You weren't gonna trade him for Mason Miller. Why in the world would you trade him for Ketel Marte? Who? He'd have to replace a major leaguer. Who's he gonna replace here? He's also 31 with an injury history, right? We're not going to factor that in. Yeah, he's got good stats this year. Okay. But so do a bunch of other players. But the offense is not the main problem here right now. So again, what problems does Ketel Marte solve? I think next year Ben Rice is likely going to take over first base. I like the way Goldschmidt's coming back now. It's like he did last year. He had a stronger second half last year, right? He slumped for a little while. Now he's kind of hitting the ball again. That's how a veteran pro does it, man. He's a good veteran. He's a pro. He's got to build in a Hall of Fame career. There's no doubt about that, right? But do I want to, again, Ben Rice's way? We see the impact of Ben Rice's bat when he plays. And to me, he's a step up from Paul Goldschmidt. Defensively, not yet. But offensively, yes. That's something he needs to work on. And again, because he clearly is a better catcher than he is a first baseman. So, he would need to get, obviously, a lot more reps at first base, which I think he would get an opportunity to do that next year. Because I'd be surprised if they got Munetaka Murakami from Japan. Especially now that Ben Rice is emerging as a really good hitter. So, I think Goldschmidt, I think he might hang him up. But we'll see.